Shiv Shankar ji, mute everybody, please.
9 o'clock, we can start now. 9.
Starting, just a minute.
Good evening, KGPians. A warm welcome to the interactive program Face to Face with Alumni, Director IIT Kharagpur on Challenges and Achievements in 2020, organized by the IIT Kharagpur Alumni Foundation India and IIT Kharagpur Foundation USA. This is Shreyoshi Ghosh, Executive Officer for Media Communication at IIT Kharagpur. We have with us today our Director, Professor Virendra Kumar Tiwari, Professor Sriman Kumar Bhattacharya, our Deputy Director, Professor Subrata Chattopadhyay, Dean of Alumni Affairs, Professor Surya Pal, Associate Dean Alumni Affairs, and our esteemed alumni, Ron Gupta, President, IIT Kharagpur Foundation USA, Varadarajan Seshimani, IIT Kharagpur Alumni Foundation India, and our alumni panelists, Lieutenant General Utpal Bhattacharya, Commander Vk Jaitley, and Ms. Akansha Sinha. In this program, we'll present a report on the key activities and achievements of IIT Kharagpur during the calendar year 2020, the Director's perspective on the challenges during the year and the roadmap for 2021 onward. This will be followed by a discussion with our alumni panelists and questions from the audience. Our first speaker is Ron Gupta. Ranbir Ron Gupta is an architecture graduate and a silver medalist from the batch of 1970. In his architectural and entrepreneurial career spanning for over 50 years, Ron has performed pioneering work in mission-critical facilities for major financial services, pharmaceutical and telecommunication clients. Along with his wife Chitra, Ron created the Ron and Chitra Gupta Foundation, which has funded the Ranbir and Chitra Gupta School of Infrastructure Design and Management at IIT Kharagpur, in addition to several other philanthropic activities in the area of higher education and related infrastructural development in India. He has also endowed the Uday Agnihotri Chair Professorship at IIT Kharagpur. At present, Ron is the President of IIT Kharagpur Foundation USA and a board member of Pan IIT USA. He was one of the key persons behind the international webinar on India, the Global Destination for Higher Education post-NEP 2020, organized by IIT Kharagpur and the IIT Kharagpur Alumni Foundation India in October 2020, and also the Pan IIT Global Summit, IIT 2020 Future is Now, held earlier this month. He also participated in the WebHub Summit in the presence of the Prime Minister of India and spoke on the infrastructure and rural development with emphasis on rural technologies. Ron was awarded the IIT Kharagpur Distinguished Alumnus Award in 2010. I welcome Ron Gupta to take the stage.
The year 2020 is about to come to an end. A year that has tested human endurance to the utmost limit. The coronavirus pandemic has caused havoc in everyday lives and generated a black swan moment in history. And yet, human courage and fortitude have shone through this darkest hour. Never was this more evident than in IIT Kharagpur, which forged ahead under the able leadership of its director, Professor Vk Tiwari.
Hello, I am Vk Tiwari, complete Virendra Kumar Tiwari. I am brought up in this campus of IIT Kharagpur for the last 40 years. I did my schooling as well as BTech, MTech and PhD at IIT Kharagpur. I became a student of IIT Kharagpur in 1974. On 16th of July, I entered this institute in my department. I became head of the department, of two departments for that matter, Department of Agricultural and Food Engineering and as well as Rural Development Center. I was also, immediately after becoming professor, I was given the responsibility of the joint entrance examination. So I...
Commander Jaitley ji, good afternoon.
Ranji, please pick up. Shankarda, mute everybody, please.
Thank you. Thank you, Shriyoshi. First of all, I would like to request all of you to please stay muted unless you're going to speak. Please, it's very, very important for the sound quality for all of us. Good evening. It's very late in IIT Kharagpur, past 9 o'clock. Appreciate all the faculty and the students coming so late. Good afternoon in much of Europe and Africa and the Middle East. Good morning, much of the Americas, North and the South. First of all, I'd like for 10 seconds to unmute yourself, just 10 seconds, and repeat after me, and then mute right back. IIT ka tempo!
Hey!
Kharagpur ka tempo! IIT Kharagpur ka tempo!
Boys, hi.
Now Shiv Shankar to mute everybody, please.
Mute again. Thank you.
Ran, please unmute yourself. Ran, you have to unmute.
Okay, sorry, I did not unmute myself. Welcome, distinguished alumni, to this face-to-face meeting, the first face-to-face meeting with the director. Honorable, please mute yourself. Thank you, everybody. Honorable Director Vk Tiwari ji, Deputy Director Shimanda Bhattacharya ji, and Dean Shubhato Chattopadhyay ji. Along with Brother Sheshamani, for me it's a great honor to represent 65,000 alumni of this great institute. On August 18, 1951, Maulana Azad founded IIT Kharagpur at the Hifli detention camp. Today we have over 65,000 alumni worldwide. The very first batch of alumni from IIT was in actually 1954. There were 7 MTech graduates in chemical engineering. The very first full batch graduated in 1955 with 235 alumni. And in 1956, Pandit Nehru, the Prime Minister, addressed the first convocation for the graduating IITians. Today, I'm proud to say that well over 500 alumni have registered for this program, representing every era from the start to the end and the future. Today, we have a graduate of 1956, Sarapalli Satyamurthy. If you're there, please raise your hand. 1956 graduate of Mechanical Engineering, a Nehru Hall resident. We have two graduates of 1957 today, Ramalanga Sharma, Azad Hall, ECE, and B. Natarajan, Azad Hall, Mechanical from the USA. We have one from 1958, a fellow architectural alumnus, Ranjit Dhaur, Nehru Hall from Canada. Then we have three from 1959, Ravi Gupta from Canada, Shri Bhushan Ghosh from United Kingdom, and Puran Dang, whom many of us know very well, from the United States. Following that, I'll go to the 60s and 70s. From 69, we have Brother Raju Sheshamani, of course, and then proud to have General Utpal Chattopadhyay from 69, whom you'll see later. From 79, of course, we have our director, Vk Jaitley, and we have Commander Vk Jaitley ji. From 1985, we have Partha Pratim Chakravarti, PPC, our former director. Then coming closer, from 2010, we have Akanksha Sinha. She is one of the panelists and also a fellow architectural alum. From 2019, now getting close to last year and this year, we have Prodipta Chandra, and from 2020, we have Sushaman Haldar. And looking at the future, we have a 2025 graduate, or will be graduating in 2025, A.K. Vishwanathan. Thank you. Welcome all the alumni, and thank you for your interest in our alma mater. The purpose of the meeting today is to give you the state of IIT Kharagpur. Where does IIT Kharagpur stand today? So the director, deputy director, and the alumni deal will first show you the past. What has IIT gone through? Which many of you remember. Secondly, the present. What is IIT doing now? 2020 has been a very challenging year worldwide with unprecedented incidents. And then talk about the future. What will IIT do next year and in the coming years? Following that discussion, we'll have a panel of 3 alumni who will discuss the IIT Kharagpur situation among themselves and with the alumni. We have received already over 50 questions from the alumni. They will address some of those, plus any live questions they get. For this discussion, for this panel, we have 3 diverse alumni, which will be introduced later, but to briefly, from 69, we have Lieutenant General Utpal Bhattacharya. From 1979, we have Commander Vk Jaitley, and from 2010, we have Akanksha Sinha. Now, for the first presentation, I would like to introduce Subrata Chattopadhyay, who is the Dean of Alumni Affairs. When an alumni comes to IIT first time, or they're looking for some direction, they lost their certificate, they want to donate some money or time, they want to visit, they want to go abroad, they want to do networking, the first stop is the alumni office. So Professor Chattopadhyay will give a brief overview of the Alumni Affairs Office. He is another fellow architectural alumni from Kharagpur. He got a PhD from Kharagpur. He has been head of the department of the architecture department. He is also the Avinash Gupta Chair Professor in Architecture, and presently for the last 3 years, he has been serving as the Dean of Alumni Affairs. Without further ado, let me ask Professor Subrata Chattopadhyay to come on the stage. Subrata?
Thank you very much, Ron. I think I'm audible to all. Am I audible to all?
Yes, you are.
You are, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes, we can hear you.
Ron gave a very kind introduction, and Ron also explained the purpose for which we are meeting today very lucidly. Shiv Shankar, are you trying to play the video? Why do I see a blank screen?
Sir, doing it, sir.
When I ask for it, can you please do it then?
Sure, sir.
Thank you very much. First of all, let me put on the IIT KGP cap, and that sets the mood for me. Okay, now I have been asked to present what we are doing in a span of just 4 to 5 minutes. So I will straight away jump to some of the features that we are doing. I will request Dr. Shiv Shankar to please play the PPT. Can you please share the screen, Dr. Shiv Shankar?
Yes, sir.
PowerPoint category our share করুন এটা ঠিক আছে
Can we make it full screen? Thank you very much. So, what are we doing at the Office of the Alumni Affairs? Can we move to the second slide? As you can see, there are 4 verticals, basically 4 verticals. Alumni outreach, that includes alumni connectivity, alumni events and chapters. We have alumni giving back, which includes endowment funds, scholarships and chairs, recruitment, internship opportunities. We have alumni services, and that includes alumni awards and honors, alumni publication, email service, alumni cards, etc. And the 4th vertical is alumni engagement, including mentorship programs, visiting faculty, industry collaboration, and the like. The next slide, please. Ron was just mentioning that we are all proud to be, connected to a strong alumni base of over 65,000 alums the world over. We, being the first being the first IIT in the chain of IITs, we have the largest base of alums, and I'm very glad to say that presently our connectivity stands at 71%. We are connected through mails, through phones to 71% of our alums. We also have an overview of the global and domestic chapters. And as you can see, on the left-hand side are the global chapters, including the US, UK, Canada, Kuwait, Singapore, Dubai, and Australia. And our domestic chapters have suddenly become extremely, extremely engaging, and the number is increasing by the day. So you have a big list of domestic chapters on the right-hand side of the screen. Can we move to the next slide, Shivshankar? Some of the recent avenues of giving back, I just wanted to show you that we were doing a lot of work, lot of activity in 2019. The Alumni Foundation US provided 15 scholarships to our students to go abroad and do their internships, and that included universities like the NUS, Singapore, Caltech, MIT, GA Tech, and the like. So we were really bustling with activities. But then in January, we had a great, alumni meet. But during this time, after March, we have not been silent. So what we have done during this period, the last 9 months, we have been establishing new avenues. We have already established 3 new chair professorships. We have established an academy of leadership, that's the Partho Ghosh Leadership Academy. We have also commissioned 4 new student scholarships, actually 7, 4 are already done, and 3 are on the way. Next slide, please. But I was mentioning about January. Which is just round the corner. Just the other day, we were bustling with activities. Here you can see the 1970 class gift, the Adda. It's an installation which is very vibrant, and this was inaugurated by none other than Shri Amit Khare, the Secretary of Higher Education. The next slide shows another, inauguration of another landmark installation in the campus. It's a clock tower, and this clock tower was also inaugurated by Shri Amit Khare, Secretary Higher Education. Next one, please. And after that, everything became different. Till February, we were moving around, we were bustling with activities, and then we were struck by COVID, but we didn't stop. What we did, we utilized that time very gainfully. Here is a collage of some of the webinars, international webinars that we did. The first one on your left is a series of, e-symposia, which was done on the request of the Ministry of Higher Education to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi. And our mandate was to connect with universities worldwide. And we did connect. We did connect with universities worldwide. We had speakers from leading universities from the US, from UK, from Japan, and the like. Next, on the right top, you see that we did another webinar. It was an international webinar entitled India, the Global Destination for Higher Education. Now we saw a great synergy, a lot of energy where the US Foundation and the India Foundation started coming together. So I see that there is a huge, role that these two foundations can do together. So they had a roaring success where we did this, global webinar. And this had our chief guest, Dr. Ramesh Pokhriyalji, and we also had our Secretary Higher Education, Amit Kharji. Next, we did a Bharat Tirtha, an international webinar on the Indian knowledge system. And Director will talk more about that. It's a new thing which is coming up. In IIT Kharagpur, we are setting up an Indian knowledge center. And that will do, studies on indigenous knowledge systems. We also did an alumni outreach program. That was another one which we did, one of the webinars. The next slide here, I think you have jumped. Yeah, the previous one, please. Next, yeah. Here we are showing that our director, the whole purpose of today's, this coming together face to face shows that he is placing a lot of, importance on branding. Yeah, let's stick to this one, please. On branding. And we have identified with his leadership, 7 areas in which we would like to package ourselves to the world and see that we come up trumps and reach to the top. The 7 areas we have also identified 7, key persons, champions from abroad and from the IIT side. These 7 areas are on your screen. These are advanced transportation, smart infrastructure, advanced manufacturing, cyber physical systems, food security, quality, reliability and safety, and affordable healthcare. And our champion branding will be done by our champion, Mr. Arjun Sen. So we are doing a lot of work, and with your help, we understand that with your help, we have a huge, strength when we have you with us. So we expect to do a lot of things together. The next slide, please. This was another thing that touched the lives of 60,000 people in the campus and around, where we had, COVID-19 alumni funded social welfare mission. Thanks to all of you that you contributed so generously towards this fund. Next one, please. And the last one.
Faster.
Bus, okay. This is the last slide, which shows a mesh in which you have new avenues in which you can endow, you can engage with us. Some of them, like sports endowment, is a new one. Or we have something called Academy for Women of the Future. So these are new ventures that we have conceived, and we can talk more on these at length. Thank you very much for a very patient hearing, and I look forward to a very dynamic, face-to-face session. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Shubhato, very much. Again, request again, please mute yourself unless you are talking. Thank you.
Sorry, why don't the organizers do the muting themselves? Why don't you mute everybody, please? The one talking. Ron, unmute
You are
yourself.
muted.
Okay, I'm sorry. In the zeal to ask everybody to mute, I muted myself. Sorry about that. Next, I would like to introduce our Deputy Director for a very brief presentation about the Institute. Deputy Director Shriman Bhattacharya. Shriman Bhattacharya got his MTech and PhD from Kharagpur. He has been a professor in Civil Engineering Department, has served as the Director of CBRI in Dehradun, and has been serving as the Deputy Director at Kharagpur. Shimanda?
Thank you, Ron. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to my friends. Well, I'll just briefly take you through the activities of the Institute over the period 2020. We had started year 2020 with a lot of excitements. Our director, Professor Vk Jaitley, joined us on 31st December 2019. and I had handed over the charge to him as I was officiating prior to his joining. The excitement was primarily due to the fact that IIT Kharagpur was adjudged as the Institute of Eminence by the Government of India. Though it was declared somewhere in August 2019, but we had signed the Memorandum of Understanding between the government and the institute in the first quarter of 2020. And thereby we were gearing ourselves to get into different activities as envisaged in the Institute of Eminence document in terms of newer academic programs, more internationalizations, extensive outreach programs, restructuring, etc. At the same time, we were also preparing ourselves to take part in a competitive bidding process of the government for creating a center for cyber physical system. Amidst all these, we all were struck by the pandemic due to COVID-19. And all of a sudden, the activities that we were on almost came to a standstill. We had two issues before us. One was to complete the incomplete ongoing spring semester, and the other one was to safeguard around 5,500 students out of 12,000 students who were staying back during the lockdown period in the campus. We could successfully complete the incomplete semester and also the subsequent autumn semester through online digital platform. All of efforts were made to keep each of the students who were staying back in the campus safe. And I must mention here that not a single student was affected, and they were all sent back home safely after unlocking was declared by the government. It was realized that the pandemic was not going to go up so soon, and we need to go on with our works. The pandemic came to us with a blow. It gave us some opportunities as well. A number of medical devices were developed by our faculty colleagues, and I think the details will be talked about by our director. Also, we came to know how to handle the semester teaching through online platform and its nitty-gritties, and we could do it successfully. Government of India gave us its approval for setting up the Center for Cyber Physical System, for which in fact we had bid for at a cost of rupees 175 crores. Alongside this, we were also working towards the setting up of a center called Sophisticated Analytical and Technical Help Institute, acronymed as SATHI, supported by the Government of India at a cost of 125 crore, and an Indian maritime project under the scheme called Sagarmala under Ministry of Shipping at a cost of 100 crores. The institute has set up a 1.3 petaflop supercomputing national facility with the support from Government of India. In the recent past, the institute has set up an Academy of Classical and Folk Arts and Academy of Leadership with the support from our alumni. With the approval of the Institute Senate and Board of Governors, a Center of Excellence on Safety Engineering has been established. It is anticipated that these centers, along with the engineering disciplines, will add value to our educational system as expected by the newly launched National Education Policy of the Government of India. To foster academy-industry relationship, the institute has set up a research park at Kolkata. DRDO has already started its operation in the center as a long-standing cooperation between IIT Kharagpur and DRDO, and TCS is expected to join soon, and so with several other companies. The institute is setting up an agro-based incubation center, ABIC, supported by NABARD in our campus to promote incubation in the area of agriculture and food processing. As a part of the activities of the Institute of Eminence, the institute has done an academic and administrative restructuring for better functionality. Also, as a part of our academic reform, a new curricula has been evolved and has been implemented from the academic year 2020-21. As a part of internationalization, the institute has signed MOUs with a number of institutes abroad, such as University of Manchester, University of Leeds, University of Alberta, and so on, for joint PhD programs and other academic exchanges. The institute is all set to start a center on Indian knowledge system to nurture the ancient knowledge and create a link with the modern form of education, as Professor Chattopadhyay was talking about. The institute also has set up a medical hospital, and we are all set to start the activities of the hospital. We are also making an effort to start our educational program in medicine from the academic year 2021-22. The institute has made efforts in creating several infrastructural facilities in the campus. A 4 MGD water project has just been completed, and we are expecting water to flow from well located at the bank of Kasai River at Minnapur to our campus by the end of this year. An accommodation of 100 units for accommodating international visitors have been completed and inaugurated by the Honorable Minister of Education. Construction of 2 hostels of 500 capacity, one each for boys and girls, and several expansion projects for halls are underway. We are also contemplating to add hostel for international students, food courts, academic towers, and few other structures in near future. The institute celebrated its 70th Foundation Day on 18th August 2020, and we are planning to celebrate the Platinum Jubilee with grandeur in 2025-26. Hence, we expect your wholehearted support, cooperation, and help to fulfill our dream. We will share our plans with you about the activities that we like to take up for celebration of Platinum Jubilee at an appropriate time to materialize the same, and we'll come back to you. Thank you very much, and we hope that we'll have more interactions on this. Thank you.
Thank you, Shrimanda. Really appreciate that. Now, this is the time we welcome our director, Virendra Kumar Tiwari ji, to this first face-to-face with the alumni. I want to thank all of you for muting yourself during this last presentation. Please continue to do so unless you are speaking. Now, this program that the director has started hopefully will be a yearly program where once a year the director of the institution gives you a state of the institute, where it has been, where it stands, and where it's going to go. Now, Director Vk Tiwari, he joined as director, or was appointed as the director 361 days ago on December 31, 2019, about to complete a full 1 year. And it's been a challenging year, not because of him, but because of the situations around him. We've had unprecedented pandemic, and he's had to handle that. And he's faced it in a very remarkable way. He's from a personal standpoint, he's a very amenable individual, and he's accessible to all alumni if you want to reach him. Vk Tiwari is a long-term resident of Kharagpur itself, Medinipur district. He got his bachelor's, master's, and PhD, all from IIT Kharagpur. He's been teaching there, and as I said before, is now the director. He doesn't need any more introduction. So without further ado, present to you Director Vk Tiwari ji.
Namaskar to everyone. I think there will be a short film which has to be shown. Shiv Shankar ji, will you show the film? Video.
The year 2020 is about to come to an end. A year that has tested human endurance to the utmost limit. The coronavirus pandemic havoc in everyday lives and generated a black swan in history and human courage and fortitude shown in the darkest hour. Never was this more evident than in IIT Kharagpur, forged ahead under the able leadership of its director, Professor Vk Jaitley.
Hello, I am Vk Tiwari. I am brought up in this campus, IIT Kharagpur, for the last 40 years. I did my schooling as well as BT, MTech and PhD at IIT Kharagpur. I became a student of IIT Kharagpur in 1974. On 16th of July, I entered in my department. I became head of the department. Two departments for that matter, Department of Agriculture and Food Engineering, as well as the Rural Development Center. I was also immediately after professor, I was given the responsibility of the joint entrance examination. So I was vice chairman in 2004 and the organizing chairman, all India organizing chairman in 2005 and 2006. And of course now I am the director of IIT Kharagpur. When I saw the ranking of this institute, I was wondering, we are 300 plus ranking, why should we not be? When I joined 2019 and things were very normal, and suddenly attacked us, and we can say that everything stopped to the extent that we asked to leave and choice, and suddenly we had to adopt with different normal of way of life like this, and we had about 500 students at that time.
The Institute rose to the challenge and came up with a string of innovation aimed at detection and control of the deadly virus. Vk, a first of its kind device that enables testing at affordable costs. Antigen-based sensor for the detection of COVID-19 under a minute. Medicine software and diagnostic devices to provide critical healthcare support to patients. Micro-needle and low-cost surgical masks. Physical distance tracking and monitoring device for crowd management. Mathematical models to aid decision-making during the pandemic for healthcare sector, industry and academia. During the lockdown, strict adherence to government guidelines ensured the health and safety of 5,500 students who remained on campus. A synchronous e-teaching platform enabled the smooth completion of the spring semester. Despite the challenging circumstances, IIT Kharagpur students bagged 1,000 plus placements in 8 days. The institute constituted task force negotiated with industry to help minimize withdrawal of job offers. IIT Kharagpur distributed relief material for affected locals and did direct bank transfer of funds for the economically disadvantaged. A slew of innovations and research have flown out of the portals of IIT Kharagpur. Eco-friendly, biodegradable food packaging material from cucumber peel, vegetable oil powder for a healthy heart, automated smart devices for cardiac care, robotic systems to detect and treat plant diseases, AI innovations in manufacturing technology that advance India's journey towards Industry 4.0, AI-powered low-cost meteorological inspection system, AI-based prediction model for arsenic detection in drinking water, new chemical treatment to extract industry-grade silica from rice biomass, Gramin Krishi Mausam Seva forecasting climatic risks, discovery of microplastic contamination in paper cups, and research related to waste management, rainfall pattern and water levels. Come to think of it, IIT Kharagpur remained more busy than ever, even during the pandemic situation. The institute launched the first of its Academy of Classical and Folk Arts. It held an international symposia on Gandhian thoughts and philosophy, organized Bharat Tirtha, an international webinar on Indian knowledge systems, held the Spark Conference on Healthcare Technologies with experts from India, USA, UK, Australia, Sweden, South Africa and the Netherlands, and organized ICHRAChem 2020, the first online international conference on recent advances in computational and experimental mechanics. The Institute held an international webinar on India, the global destination for higher education.
It held an international webinar on safe mining and advanced resources technology.
IIT Kharagpur's international relations have progressed by leaps and bounds. The Union Minister for Education, Shri Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank, inaugurated International Faculty Visitors Accommodation and laid the foundation stones for 2 halls of residence and sealed its international collaboration. There have been initiation of major projects as well. A new project from NABARD, Agri-Business Incubation, the Sati Center, Sophisticated Technology Instrumentation, Spark Project Phase 2 with IIT Kharagpur as the National Coordinator. Finalization of agreements with TCS and DRDO on activities at the Research Park at Rajarhat, Kolkata. It also set up a technology innovation hub on AI and machine learning.
Setting up lab to market cell to provide a structured platform for the transfer of laboratory-based research to commercialization.
New courses and administrative measures have kicked off. Online course on application of digital technologies in agriculture. Constitution of committee for review of UG and PG curriculum for 2020-21. From academic and R&D units to institute maintenance, IIT Kharagpur is stepping up its activities under the new leadership. From darkness to light, IIT Kharagpur is looking forward to the year 2021 with hope and the dream of serving the cause of a self-reliant nation under the leadership of Professor Vk Jaitley, who carries forward the Institute's unparalleled legacy of excellence.
Thank you. Thank you, Sivsankarji. Well, friends, it appears that there has been a lot of overlap between what I said, what I have said through my video and what Professor Bhattacharya has said. And therefore, I would not like to talk much, but I would like to say a few things about what the only things which have been left out. In fact, let me tell you that the very first thing which was happening to us initially was as if the way every director feels. And what I thought is that let us try to find out as to why we are lurching at 300 plus our world ranking. And it came to us that why not ask our past directors? And that is why, since I knew all 5 of them before me, I thought to have an audience with them, and we wanted to listen to them. And therefore, on 10th and 11th of January 2020, we had requested them. They were here, except Professor Dubey. But those who were there here, including my previous director, Professor Chakravarti, and it was a very good beginning as to what are the areas in which the institute should look into, what are the parameters which we should attend to, and what are the jobs of the various tasks which the stakeholders should take up in order to see that we are top in the world. In fact, the vision and the mission, you can say, everything that we are culminating to is that we would like to be in the top 10 in the world. Yes, you may think that this is a very tough task, but I feel that until unless you have a tough task and a big goal, you will not succeed. And this is my way of looking at things. And that is how my friends, all the deans, directors, the deputy director, the heads of the departments and the faculty, everybody feels charged. And we feel that if we have to be top 10 in the world, we have to have everything along with us. Even the person who is sweeping the department and the area has also to think of a responsibility. And hence we thought that it has to be a collective way of taking decisions to go ahead. And that is why when we met the directors, we took some advices from them. In fact, we wanted to get them in every 3 to 4 months during the period, but somehow or the other, as you know, that on 16th we had to close the institute, and from 25th it was totally locked down the whole country. And therefore we were stuck. But by the way, I can tell you that we were still active. We never stopped anything. And as it was told to you, that we had tough time because 5,500 students were there with us. And it is so difficult to manage the students in very small rooms, and also to maintain the social distancing or the physical distancing that we talk of. And we are also talking of the other activities which they should be doing, and maintain the distance and maintain their mental makeup. It was very tough. But we decided that why not we go to the halls. So every hall we went for these 3 months. My faculty colleagues, the deputy director, the registrar, the wardens, we all went to each and every hall, and we had audience with them. And we wanted to keep them motivated, keep them thinking that yes, things are positive, remain positive, because this is a tough time. And if the ITLs cannot do this, who else can? And that is why we could sail through about the month of June, July or so. When the Unlike 1.0 came up, I think it was possible, and many times we also sent some of our students to our help of the vehicles to Calcutta and other locations. And we saw that they reached safe at that place, at their houses. In fact, it was a good task that we could do. But I tell you that it was not as easy as it is being told to you now. And but we are confident, and we were very happy that our student friends helped us in doing this. It's a both-way process. We cannot say that only we did. And our other security staff, that the medical people, our doctors, everybody, we came together. I think I tell you that I'm the very fortunate person to be as the director of this institute, where every stakeholder in this institute, right from the association, the student teachers association, to staff association, as well as the depressed league association, every person came across, and we used to take all joint decisions, and that made us to keep this campus safe. We had about very porous this institute, all of you must have seen. We had about 5 gates. We had to close all the 4 gates, and only 1 gate through which still we are going ahead. There are troubles. There are people who are not happy with us, but I think for the safety of the institute, we had to take this tough decision, and we stick to that. And so far, we are still going ahead with that. Then after that, of course, what we have done, in fact, the course curriculum, which was not done for a long time, we wanted to work on that. And in the meantime, we had got the new education policy. And we found that there are many things that we had planned in the course curriculum was in line with what the new education policy wanted us to do. And this way we can say that the new education policy, we are giving a lot of freedom to the students. In fact, we are saying that the students can have multi-entry and exit. They can think of a credit bank. They can, if they want, they can take leave and go back and come back from where they left. They can start. They can think of a startup. They can have a semester away program. These things were there with us, but we have now, you can say that is strategized, as well as we have formalized everything in this regard. And the students are now in a position to get about 6 to 8 months of exposure to any industry, or even abroad they can go, have more courses, and we can have the equivalents. Several have. Now, another thing which is new is that, see, you have seen that we have started the Academy of Classical and Folk Arts. We have made Happiness Center. Then we have Academy of Leadership. Now, these centers are in fact required for the growth and development of an individual. These are essential part, and that is why we wanted to merge them with our course curriculum. And it has been now left to the students. He can take a certain portion of the course credit which is required for a particular degree, and beyond that he can choose from anywhere. In fact, we have also admitted that in the physics, chemistry, maths and geology, geophysics, we will have now 4-year BS and MS programs, which of course will be taking it from July 2021. But then this is what we have already started. and a lot of freedom. Yes, you can say that we had tough times, and the tough times are with the students as well, because suddenly when we had to take online classes, we felt something, and our students also felt bad about it, but then there was no other go, but we had to come across with them, and then we tried to help each other, the students and ourselves. Some hiccups were there, but we could come across everything that has. But I can tell you that none of our faculty stopped. We kept working, and you must have seen that various healthcare, particularly related to Corona, those items which we have developed. COVID-Rap is the one which is taking a big name, and we are going to have a license with some of the foreign companies as well as Indian companies. There are many other small things that our friends have done. We did not stop anything. We had all our faculty meetings, our heads meetings, our senate meetings, board meetings. We never stopped. Nothing stopped, particularly because of the pandemic, except that the students were not there on the campus. But I think I'm grateful to my faculty colleagues that we worked hand in hand and arms together, and then we succeeded in doing each and every task of the institute on time. And the other activities that you have been shown are the activities which we have done. Well, we are thinking why we are, in fact, what we have given to our departments. We wanted every department to think of top 10 in the world. And for that, we have asked every department to think of the SWOT analysis. And for the last 8-9 months, they are presenting their department SWOT analysis with which their position with the top 10 in the world universities. And they are thinking where they are in respect of the research they are doing, in respect of the citations they have, and in respect of whatever those universities are doing, where we are lacking. We have also given a task for that matter to every department that you should get at least one foreigner per month for the whole year. Of course, this pandemic has created, stalled this activity, but then this is going to happen. And then we have also changed the structure of the faculty recruitment, because we are about 760 and our ratio of the faculty to student is 1:19 or so, which has to be brought to something like 1:3, 1:4 or so. Then only we can be rated higher in the world. And that is why we have changed our structure of recruitment. We have put that there will be twice in the whole year, they can on January and in July. And every department has been given a task that they should have at least 8 to 10 new faculty every year. And we are planning that in next 3 years of time, we would have at least about 500 faculty friends and at least 500 PDFs, which are also taken along with the faculty. Unless we do this thing, we are not going to be somewhere in the top 10 in the world. We have also thought that let every department think of one good item, which you can think that next 3 years, they will be in a position to bring this particular item into the market through the, of course, newly started lab to market cell. But then we are stressing more on the outputs of research. And we have given every department a way of doing this. We have said that to go to your alumni, because you are our best persons who can advise us. And friends, please accept that I am one of you. First I am alumni and then the director of the institute. So please accept that I am one of you. And therefore I have told that let us track our alumni from every department. What are the relevant industries? So with the help of the industries, the alumni and our faculty, let us see that our programs are top 10 in the world. Programs are properly repurposed for the requirement of the industry. And we have to think of Atmanirbhar Bharat. That means we have to think what good things that we can do. And in that line only we have thought that every department must think of at least one item which he can produce in next 3 years of time, so that in the 4th year we should be in a position to bring it to the market. I'm hopeful that our friends will do it. I think we are thinking that we will be in a position to do something better than what we have been doing so far. I do not deny that our friends, earlier directors, everybody has contributed to the best possible extent that he could do. And we are taking those legacy forward, and we are trying to take this institute to the top 10 in the world. This is what I think. Maybe that after some time. And in this regard, we have thought of how to do it, because why somebody will come to IIT Kharagpur to do and learn something. That's why we have found out the 7 areas. And those 7 areas, as was told earlier, that they belong to advanced manufacturing, advanced transportation. we are talking of affordable healthcare, we are talking of smart infrastructure, we are talking of food security and safety, we are talking of the reliability, safety, and quality. Now, these are the areas through which we have found out the champions abroad from our alumni and also from India, and we are working on these. So these are the areas by which we are trying to go ahead. I think we hope that in next 10 years of time, we are going ahead with 5 years ahead. 5 years intervals of our mission, and hope by 2030, the institute will be in the top 10 definitely. I personally feel that we should be trying for the next 5 years itself, because I'm confident that if our friends work, and each of my faculty friends are brilliant persons, only what was lacking possibly in my opinion is that a pat at the back and say that we are with you. And let us come together, let us forget about the negatives of what we have and take the positives out. And we hope that with the next year, as it was said, that we will have medical education as well. And with this, I will stop, and I would like to answer some of the questions that you have. Thank you very much, and namaskar to all of you.
Thank you, Tiwari ji. Very, very informative report on what's going on at IIT. And two things I like to just repeat. One is the Atmanirbhar is very important. That's a nationwide goal, to be self-reliant, but with help from others, but be self-reliant. And the second is excellence. Excellence in everything we do. And that's the motto of IIT Kharagpur. Yoga Karmasu Kaushal. Okay, which is excellence in work is our motto. At this time, I'd like to introduce Commander Vk Jaitley to start the moderating session and also interface with the alumni. Briefly about Commander Jaitley, he is extremely well known among the alumni. He's a 1979 graduate, stayed in RK Hall, and he's a graduate of ECE, and he has been president of the IIT KGP Alumni Foundation of India, and he's also on the board of governors of IIT Bhubaneswar. He is an excellent motivational speaker, and he helped commission. He was one of the commissioning crew for INS Virat. He has written a bestseller book called We Can, We Can. And with that, without further ado, let me call upon Commander Jaitley, sir, to come up and start the discussion.
Thank you, Ran, sir. So nice of you. And thanks, Vk Tiwari ji, Deputy Director, and Subhato Chattopadhyay. Guys, we are running around 12 minutes late. We had thought of 20 minutes of questions by the moderators, another 20 minutes for the audience. Now I think we are cutting down to 15 minutes. We would like to end it by 10:30 sharp. So I've got two moderators with me. One is a young dynamic girl, Akanksha Sinha. Raise your hand, please. Yes, she's a senior program manager at Google Cloud. She has built projects in Asia, North America, Europe, and spent last 10 years in architecture, engineering, and construction industry, creating, evaluating, and scaling technology. Her recent focus has been primarily on AEC technology. And Akanksha has a master's degree in construction engineering from Purdue University and a bachelor's of architecture from IIT Kharagpur. और ये लड़की एसएन हॉल की है, जिसके आसपास आप लोग घूमते रहते थे. So that is Akanksha. And we have another great man, our Lieutenant General Utpal Bhattacharya. PVSM, Param Vishish Seva Medal, Ati Vishish Seva Medal. Served Indian Army. देखा फौज खड़गपुर फौज में भी बंदों को भेजता है. General साहब is one example. I am the second example after BTech. Remember that. MTech वाले तो बहुत मिलेंगे आपको. He has taken active part in Bangladesh war as a young captain, Kargil conflict. He was a chief engineer as a brigadier that time. He is an alumnus of St. Xavier's College, Calcutta, and then IIT Kharagpur. He has served in all the three hotspots: China, Nepal, जिसको बोलते थे पहले, UP, Tibet border, Darchuchala, Lipu Lake, and Ladakh region. He is a non-sports commentator. and had been for Olympics, Beijing 2008, and Asian Games, Doha in 2006, as commentator for Doordarshan and All India Radio. General Bhattacharya Saab, you are welcome. Great. So now, three of us will shoot some questions because it's a report card for our director, Vk Tiwari. He has just completed 1 year. So I think we have all right to shoot him questions and see. उन्होंने बड़ी बड़ी बातें कर दी कि ये हमने ये किया वो किया बहुत किया हम उसके लिए ताली बजाते हैं. But then we have the right to ask you also, sir. So let me ask the senior most among three of us, General Bhattacharya. Sir, shoot your questions. Unmute, sir. Unmute. Unmute. Yeah.
Hello.
Please,
sir.
Yes.
Right. Greetings to everybody, all Caribbeans.
Yeah.
Depending on wherever you are, plug in your good morning, good evening, or good afternoon. Frankly speaking, with the known PJs around, with the challenges of 2020 being described by our director, deputy director, somebody would say that 2020 would be won within next 4 days. 2020 will be won, WON, and will become ONE after 4 days. Nobody said so. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Certain ground rules for the question and answer. I have got a little right, taken it from Jaitley. You see, all of us KGPNs, the questions will also be with that little bit of fragrance. We are all force multipliers for KGP. Like he mentioned, our director, who is the main man in the show today, that we have to bring it within the first 10. It's murky to become within the first 300. There is that. Within that also some ISI, Chennai ahead of us. We don't want this. My concern to this is, in 1950, this is more of a concern rather than a question. In 1950s definitely, and 60s, 70s and the part of 80s also. Out of first 10 in the joint entrance examination, 6 to 7 used to detain at the longest platform of India. Now it is not happening. One can say various things, no airport, this is not a metro, the people would like to stay this, that and all. But we have to get the best raw material to get the best finished product. There's no denying to that. That is the first chap who is coming to Kharagpur from JEE, who is 119th in the overall merit. Yes, I'm sure the faculty is fantastic. They are making a tremendous finished product. But the point is, we have to get good raw materials like we used to get before. How do we do it? My suggestions, the director can say that, certify or take a few of them. We have got very many motivating teachers. There are two places we understand who are known as the factories for sending people to Kharagpur. They are DPS, factory 2 is Kota. From these
Sir,
two,
shoot your question.
I'm just coming. From these 250 students come every year to all IITs. You have to send them motivational speakers there from your lecturers and assistant professors. You can take the help of the alumni. Second point is, you have got some lovely film made. Go and show them these motivational lectures. You have to get the little better talents initially also. I'm not trying to down the present lots, but this is definitely a requirement. Your comments, sir, Professor Tiwari.
Yes, I think this is very relevant. True, we do not have, and yes, what we are thinking is that we would like to have a open day, and in fact twice a year. That is what we thought, but because of the pandemic we could not hold it in 2020, and definitely next year if the situation is better, we would like to have open day for our schools which are around here, and even throughout the country. We would like to show what we are doing in different departments through the webinar with this. So this is one way I can say that I can attack this problem, and what you say is a true thing. Thank you.
Great. Akanksha, your question, please.
Thank you so much, Vk. I would, before I start my question, I would like to congratulate our director, Professor Tiwari, for the achievements of 2020. Definitely, this was a tough year, and it shows how IIT community together can build a greater nation, and definitely a great work in 2020. My question to you is, and I saw a lot of alumni asking this question as well, with COVID impacting jobs and internships so much this year, how is TNP engaging with industry partners and alumni to make sure that the third year and final year get good opportunities this year as well as next year?
Oh, great. In fact, I would say that we are still lucky that we could talk to the industries right in the month of March itself. That please bear with us and see that their situation will be better. And hence, we had very few, 1 or 2 job offers only withdrawn. Otherwise, there was no problem. Secondly, this year within just first 8 days, we had about 1,000 placements, and in the first phase, we have got about 1,100 placements. And in the big companies, all the big companies have come over here. And of course, it was all done with the help of our students and the dedicated faculty that we have over here. I can tell you that this is the job done by our students. I'm grateful to them that though they are there at their place, but they dedicated and coordinate with our CDC cell at IIT Kharagpur, and they achieved it. In fact, it is because of them. So I'm grateful to them that we would do. There were about 300 or 350 or 400 PPOs as well. So it is not a problem. And for that matter, I can tell you that it used to be in our time also that every department used to hunt for the internship for the students for 8 weeks. But those days are gone. Now students are looking for themselves. Until to the 2019, they were going ahead with their own plans. But this year also it is going on. I can tell you that there has not been a problem, and I'm confident that this will not be a problem at all. We have got some PPOs, and in the next phase, we are going to get it. Thank you.
Thanks, Vk T. I'm also Vk. He's also Vk T. He's Vk Tiwari. I'm Vk Jaitley. Okay. Now, Akanksha is 2010 batch. Tiwari ji is 79 batch. And General Bhattacharya is 69 batch. तो वो भी तिवारी जी के लिए बहुत सीनियर है, दादाजी हैं. So Akanksha के लिए तो बहुत ही सीनियर है. But Vk is my batchmate. Let me tell you, so I can pull his legs also. Okay. So Tiwari ji, you said we want to be in the top 10 by 2030. Let me tell you, it's a very ambitious goal. We'll be all very happy if it really happens. But let me tell you and ask you, in fact, आपके जो 5 साल हैं, उसमें कितने रैंक पर लेके जाओगे हमको, वो बताइए.
Yes, in fact, I never thought of 2030 to be a top 10 in the world. I thought in 5 years only, let me tell you. I'm very positive. People may think otherwise, but I always feel that we have to think big, and then only you can do big. See, it is possible. Why not? And see the parameters, for example, as I told you about the faculty and the student ratio that has to be brought. And I have given that in next 3 years of time, we will have about 500 faculty and 500 of our PDMs. That will add to about 1,000. And 1,000, and now we have 760 or so. So we will be in a better position to have the ratio of that. Now we are talking of alumni as well as the industries. So when we are talking of these 7 areas which we have, I have just said, in fact, these 7 areas we would like to be in the top 10 in the world in 2024 itself. I will complete on 30th of December 2024, 5 years. And I can tell you that I am targeting at least 5 of these areas. We will be top 10 in the world. I was talking to Sumir Chaudhary, and he said that we will take you the top 10 top 1 in the world in the area of quality and reliability. So we have such champions in the world, and I'm quite confident that with these friends, in these 7 areas, we will have people who will definitely propel us and catapult us to the next top 10 in the world, at least in this. Thank you.
Great, Vk. That's really so nice of you. One thing I can tell everybody who's attending on YouTube, on Facebook, and directly here also on WebEx, since VKT has come as a director, the interaction with the alumni has been excellent, let me tell you. We did a great webinar, international webinar, and the collaboration between the US Foundation and India Foundation, that also has started in a very big way. For that, the credit goes to Ram Gupta and our Vardu, who is the president of the Indian Foundation, the two foundations, and full support from VKT and the chairman and the Subrata Chattopadhyay of the Alumni Affairs. So let's give them a big hand. It's an excellent collaboration going on. So I think all of you can really contribute and take it ahead. Utpalda, your next question, please. Unmute, sir, unmute. Unmute.
Well, serious now. Let me ask it in a little lighter manner. About 10 years, 5 years from now, you will have the medical graduates. You are already having the law graduates. There is a management school there. Like in MIT, it happened. Do you foresee a director who could be an orthopedic surgeon, a director who could be an expert in criminal lawyers? Why I am saying this? Because to make it technologically absolutely excellent, all these things also you have to look after. So MIT, as you know, last time had the first person who was not from the technology part. He was a management expert. So are you also tending towards that directions? Because it's a multi-purpose institution now?
Yes, yes and no. This research park, the hospital is actually a 6 and 8 company in which it will be run, and the medical college will be run. But I think I can tell you one thing, not necessarily that a medical person will be a director of the institute. It will be engineering. And let me tell you that I have seen your questions. In fact, for every branch of engineering now, technology and high-end technology like AI, ML, and all these, say, Internet of Things, image processing. You see, you must have seen that we have done, the COVID app has been done by a group of people from mechanical engineering and biosciences. Similarly, the penless needle, which has been produced by our institute, is from electronics and biosciences people here. So I can tell you that the group is working. Even the telemetry system which we have developed is from the computer science department. So we cannot say that we are talking of non-engineering. We are talking of all engineering, but I don't think that there will be a medical doctor or an orthopedician as the director of the institute. No, not at all. Thank you.
Okay. Akanksha, your next question. After that, we are moving to the questions from the audience. Akanksha.
Sure, Jaitley. Professor Tiwari, one of the questions that I had in mind is, with the demand in manufacturing increasing so much recently, along with technology, how is IIT Kharagpur framing its courses and curriculum around manufacturing technology, and also hiring faculty who are pioneers in manufacturing and understanding global manufacturing standards?
Yes, it's a good question. In fact, you must have seen that we have a center of excellence on the heavy manufacturing and advanced manufacturing systems. And there we are going to have, in fact, we are taking there with the railways, we are having work with the DRDO, we are having work with the ISRO. I think the continuation is there for all. And let me tell you that we are having in each of these disciplines of which I said about classical arts, happiness center, then academy, we have safety engineering, analytics as well. They are going to be micro specialization as well as some of the dual degree courses and some of the 3 credit, 2 credit courses which will help the students. And in fact, for this year's students, we are having artificial intelligence to be taught to each and every student who is joining, irrespective of whether he's in mining engineering, agriculture engineering, or in other branches of non-computer science people. So I think we have already planned, and these courses are so seamlessly movement of the requirements and choice of the students of any course that he wants to take, he can take that. Thank you.
Okay, guys. Now, if you have any questions, keep putting in the chat box. I've got number of questions. Now, one thing which General Bhattacharya was very much concerned about the ranking and the good students among the top 200 JEE not going. So Professor Tiwari knows the alumni in India, we started a program, Swagarius Metro City, where we have our chapters. That means Swagatam for home. The final year students who come for the job in these metro cities, the existing alumni chapters will welcome them. And the students getting admission in the first year in Kharagpur, they will be also welcomed in that program along with their parents. So they come to know about the KGP before they land up there. So just to connect with the people around. So let's try to be more visible in the media as much as we can, and all the alumni can help in that. So I think the perception in the minds of the people have to change. Now coming to the question from the audience. Now one of the chap has asked, as per the new education policy, IIT can open campuses anywhere in the world. Does IIT KGP has any plans, if not in the near future or somewhere beyond?
Okay, I think this is the plan of the government of India, and I recall that sometime back when IIT Delhi wanted to have a center at Singapore, there was it would run into rough weather. And that's why this is more connected to the government's liking. If the government wants, because government is interested to have the MIT and other reps to come to India to have their centers here. So accordingly, it will have a reciprocation. So now, at present, there is nothing until unless the ministry wants us to do.
Great. Utpalda, if you have got your question or any question from the audience, I have got some more questions. Quick one, please.
Yeah, there is somebody who is Srivastava.
Utpalda, unmute.
You can take questions from the other.
Well, I got a question to Professor Tiwari.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Professor Tiwari, I am Professor Dr. Goswami here. First, my congratulations to you for having organized this face-to-face meet. It's a very unique thing you have done. Thank you very much. Now, my question is, have we added some value education cadet course in IIT syllabus anywhere?
Well, sir, first of all, I would like to tell you that this platform has been, I'm grateful to my IIT KGP US president and the alumni, as well as IIT KGP India, Foundation India. Not me, I have not done it. So credit goes to these people, not to me. So that is first part of your question. Secondly, what I think, yes, it is. Sir, in fact, we have seen that we have...
one more suggestion. I have got one more suggestion, Professor Tiwari.
I can just tell you, sir, I can tell you, let me answer your question of a minute. We have these things because we have started in the EAA, we have started the cultural events, and if the students want, if he is not interested in a particular subject elective, he can take these electives of music or any instrument, or in happiness center or in the academy. So he can take any one of these subjects of his liking, because we want a holistic approach of the individual, and that is why we have included those things. And we are thinking if we can have mass communication technology, another department, we are going to have a sports academy. If we can have, then we will be the most revered university in the world, I can tell you, with everything that we can think of. And that is our plan, maybe sometimes future it will take off. Thank you, sir.
Okay, Hemant. Hemant, you can ask a question. Hemant. Hemant, please go ahead. Yeah, unmute.
Well, another question can I ask or put my...
Hemant, sir, Hemant, one only, sir. Hemant, go ahead, unmute. Hemant, go. Okay, Prasanta Ku. Sir, please go ahead. Prashanta, please. Unmute.
Please, unmute, please, unmute.
Can't hear you, sir.
Yeah, hello. Yeah, I want to make a request to Professor Vk Tiwari.
Yes, sir.
I'm Prasant Kumar Day, 1981 alumni. Yeah, PhD alumni. I want to make a request to Professor Vk Tiwari that you have indicated that or you expect or you wish that IIT KGP would like to become one of the top 10 institutes in the world in near future. I mean, very soon, rather, you have mentioned 2030. May I request you to present some roadmap in some of the next alumni meet? Can be a very short one. That what's your plan? Because that's a question that in next 5 years, what efforts you want to put in this direction. So in the same direction, I want to add that. Would you like to present some roadmap in some of the alumni meets in future? That's the question. Yeah, it's a request to you.
In fact, briefly, I can tell I have already narrated what I wanted to do in this period of next 4 years or 5 years that we have got. And already every department has been given a mission that he has to benchmark itself with regard to the research, with regard to the position, and with regard to the citations that they have, and what is the weakness that we have. So every department has gone through a SWOT analysis. And this is going on. We will be, tomorrow itself, we will be completing for the whole institute. We have about 51 department centers and schools, and everybody has been given a mission. And I can tell you that every faculty has been told to have at least 3 good publications per year. So we are confident that if these people come together, and if we have the alumni, support of the alumni and the industries, I think we will be in a better position to have a better perception. At the same time, I can tell you that we are also trying to brand the name of IIT Kharagpur, which possibly is having a problem. I think there is an identity crisis to me, it appears. And that's why we are going to brand this IIT Kharagpur with each and every week some information or the other to the whole world. This is to start with, I can tell you, but yes, I'm ready to give my whole program of what we are going to do in up to 2030, but I'm there up to 2024, December 30th. So I will definitely give a plan, and I want to leave a roadmap so the next person, when he comes, he should be in a position to take these things to where we are. I want to see all of us. Thank you.
Professor VKT, how many foreign faculty and foreign students are there, and how you are going to increase it?
Yes, as I told, at present we do not have, because of course we have about 13 plus 8, maybe 21 students we have, but foreign faculty we do not have. We had a couple of them, but because of the pandemic, they have not come. But I can tell you, which I said in the beginning, that we have requested every faculty, every department to have at least one faculty for a month, at least for a month, in each and every department center in school, and we are going to open it for it. And through the various programs that we have, either through Beyond 2, or we are talking of the Spark program project, or we can have them adjunct professors, or we can have them visiting professors, but we would like to have. And if this is the program, that we will have at least 50 people running in this, walking in this campus of foreigners from each department at this month. And we will be in a position to get these people. But we have to really do something unique, because of which people will come to learn from us. Thank you.
There is one question by the people that probably the IITs in the big cities like Delhi, Bombay, even Chennai, they are able to attract better faculty compared to IIT Kharagpur. What is your opinion?
No, I don't think so, because even, see, if the person is belonging to Hyderabad, he would like to go to Hyderabad IIT because of the 23 IITs that we have. And if person is from Chennai, he would like to remain in Chennai. That is the case. And even, but we have no dearth of the faculty. Even faculty from other IITs are trying to come to IIT Kharagpur. But I am sure if a person is from North, he would not like to come to Bengal. But if a person is in Bengal, from Bengal, he would love to come to IIT Kharagpur. So that way we have no problem. And the faculty that we get, Bengal faculty that we have got so far is a brilliant faculty. So we do not have a problem. And I don't see any problem, because so far as I have seen, it's not going to be a problem as such.
How do you attract the toppers of BTech from IIT Kharagpur? How do you give them incentive to become the faculty at IIT Kharagpur after doing MTech and PhD?
Very good question. In fact, it's a very good question. See, I can tell you that we are going to have one PMRF, like Prime Minister's Research Fellowship. And through that, we are going to attract, we are going to tell some of these students that you can have a faculty who is from abroad in other universities, because we have MOU with several universities in UK, USA, and Australia, and several Germany, Japan. So we can send these fellows to 1 year there, so they can have a flavor of India and abroad. At the same time, they will go do a top quality work. And we are also trying to, right from the second year, we are trying to put them into research, so that research projects, so that they can have a feel of research, because these are the top quality students, and we can take their help with some sort of a top-up funding and stipend. I think these students will be attracted. Thank you.
Akanksha, last question from you. Akanksha.
I think one thing,
Hemant and Pooja has been trying to ask one question.
Yes.
for quite some time.
Hemant, please unmute yourself.
Hemant and Pooja, please.
Yeah. So thank you very much. Earlier I could not unmute myself because of some system issue. So let me introduce myself. I am Hemant. I'm from AGP Agriculture Food Engineering 2000 batch, and she is Pooja.
I am from Chemistry Department 2000 batch, and I'm working with DRDO currently.
So the two things, DRDO related things, of course, she would be interested to go ahead and talk further. My point on question is there must be, if it is not there, if it is there, then what is that? The single window visibility of all the research projects, maybe PhD, BTech and all those things, which can be commercialized in some direction to make it social economic impact. So is there available? If not, then where it is? Means just there's a second question. First question. And second question is, can we also bring in some kind of more inclusion wherein even the UG's projects, academic projects that we used to take can also be aligned with the actual industry need kind of scenario. So it could be PhD related, PG related or UG related things. So there could be some mechanism wherein whatever work we are doing, it goes in the meaningful direction. So these are the two questions which I have, and one comment I would like to add, then close it. This is a completely personal opinion. Why should we focus on becoming in the top 10 or top 5 or something? We just become IIT Kharagpur and just do what we best we can do. That's it. Means the rating agency, numbering agency, that's separate, completely separate criteria. I mean, this is my opinion. Maybe.
Shoot your question.
I will answer the last question, last few first. Because you see, there is a society, and everybody is looking at us. See, we may feel differently, and we see that we are not bothered. What is this? Actually, somebody should be mute. Please mute. Actually,
Shankar, mute everybody, please. श्रीकांदा बाद में आपका गाना सुनेंगे बाद में श्रीकांदा बाद में सुनेंगे वोट ऑफ थैंक्स के बाद श्रीकांदा is from Australia, middle of the night he is with us. Thank you, श्रीकांदा. After
So I can tell you that we have a society outside here in the world. Everybody wants to see where you are and all that, and that is why we cannot forget that what you are doing. The ministry is asking where are your position. You do not know, friend. We have been asked right in the month of February when I visited. We were said why your position has come down and going up and all that. Why you are not doing something you have to do. So there is a society, and we have to listen to that. We may have our own feelings. Secondly, I can tell you that yes, the projects with the industries, it is possible to do. Now we have said that let everybody, whatever even idea he conceives, let us put a paper so that it is first patented. At least put a patent application itself and then go ahead with that, so that we will, when the idea comes up and when it is fruitful and we come up with either a product or a system or a process, we should be in a position to market that. Now, the idea of having research connected to the industry is definitely in our mind, and we are now saying that when we have the alumni and the industry together, we have this connection, and we are trying to take up projects, particularly at MTech level and PhD level projects have to be with the industries. And I can tell you that at least in my department, I have been working for the last 25 years with industries, tractor industries. And I can tell you there is a good liaison, and we have conveyed many things, many designs to the tractors, or particularly I can tell you about the TAFE tractors. So that is there, and it used to be. In fact, if you want to know about the PhD work, it is there in our library, and through this you can get as to what is there. Maybe through NDLI, we have National Digital Library, whose PI is Professor P.P. Chakravarti. So you can get through that also what are the research done at IIT Kharagpur, particularly at MTech and PhD level, you can get that. And I think we will have to be careful about the ranking. Yes, I do believe that we have to be careful about the ranking. See our friends, why they are saying that why 200%, top 200 in the world, in the JEE, why is not coming? Why that feeling should come? Let it be there. So that feeling is there, and that is essential, and then only we will grow. Thank you.
Thanks, Professor.
Hi, it's Kaushik from
Vardu sir, please give your vote of thanks. After that, informal session will continue for some time, Shiv Shankar. and we will listen to the song by Shrikanta Bandyopadhyay ji, who is sitting in Australia during middle of the night, if I am correct. Varudu sir, your vote of thanks, please. Formal program will be over. After that, informal can continue.
I can just add that if there are any other questions, we would like to answer them through the mass media, and then through my Facebook. We would like to answer all the questions which have come, and I am requesting Sriyoshi to jot down, and I am confident I will answer all those questions and give it to you. Thank you.
Yeah, chat में काफी questions आए हुए हैं. Sriyoshi can pick it up. Varudu sir, the president of India Foundation.
Good evening, everyone. Very appropriate for me to come towards the end of this session so that I can, who all have to be thanked, because even after a vote of thanks, sometimes we leave people out. But it's a very, very interesting, in-depth program. The session itself was very different from the normal. Here we are an institution opening out its information and its faculty and its stakeholders to the former students, the alumni, for them to ask questions about how the institute has fared and how then at that time, 2020 beginning, added the new director added value, particularly in the special year of surprises after surprises. In fact, making presentations to enable an easier understanding on what the difference is between the IIT they knew and experience and the IIT of today is actually a very proactive way of presenting IIT with its pluses and minuses to the people, for them all to react and ask questions that they may have had since they ever visited IIT or they had any other interaction with the IIT. Director Vk Jaitley, I'd like to mention for having enthusiastically accepted the idea when it was mooted and commenced joint action on the project immediately, followed by involved participation at every stage, at every meeting we had invited when it was necessary to take some decisions. We had Tiwari ji in the meeting, and so we were able to finish everything in about 4 or 5 meetings. And this is very, very encouraging for everyone who's working on this project. So Director Vk Jaitley, Deputy Director Bhattacharya, Subroto Chattopadhyay, Dean, worked to make the presentations for the current status of IIT. And since the time was given was very precisely limited, I noticed that the presentations were so well tailored to actually meet the requirement and not have taken more time than we usually do in other presentations. So it was full support to the IIT Kharagpur alumni, and the foundations of India and USA working in an extended team to achieve a common objective from the institution, IIT Kharagpur. Even if we look at what the IIT communications team did under Shiv Shankarji and the IIT alumni office and director's office for having got all this across to us, thanks to the whole extended team. The IIT Kharagpur USA Foundation, Ron Gupta jumped at this idea and worked hard worked I think much harder than me to bring panelists on board and contribute in any way to this enterprise. He and the team added very substantial value in my opinion and brought in excellence into this event. The conducting of the program was excellently done by you, Ron. Thanks for being an enthusiastic partner in this enterprise of building brand Kharagpur. I think the partnership between IIT, the Indian Foundation and the US Foundation, since we got together involved in the Gupta Memorial Award, I think has been outstanding, and we would like to extend this to even more areas as we discussed a few days ago. The thanks to General Bhattacharya, Commander Jaitley and Akanksha for their inputs as panelists. They have had to wade through hundreds of questions and also select on the spot online for the questions that came in the last session of questions. It was a very, very good job. They have had to go wade through questions and select, a limited number of questions from the whole, from the entire set of questions. And we are actually going to look at all these questions subsequently and look at what are the issues that seem to be bothering alumni much more than others strictly by the number of questions which have been asked. Like if something has been asked 25 times or 30 times, obviously that is a more burning issue than something which has been asked by 2 people. But we will leave that to the analysis which comes after this program. The India Foundation team was led by past President Commander Jaitley, a veteran at managing, leading and guiding the foundation, and now looking at various specific issues and becoming a one-man army to,
though he's from the Navy, to bring this to a webinar stage and make it an issue that is actually discussed with everybody. So from originating, guiding, instructing, correcting, making and leading a team virtually to conduct one of our present activities. So the whole series of webinars, which has come in the recent past, the education webinar was a very widely seen event. So many would know that these things have happened, and so I must commend the kind of input that he has given for this program. In fact, in the higher education webinar, the recommendation report and the summary of the entire event, along with inputs from all the stakeholders, all the speakers, and all the panel coordinators have been already submitted to the government for action, and it's all in very succinct point form, so that the government can actually take action and not just sit on it. So this is really something. A very big thanks to everybody, all the people I've named. It's impossible to find words to thank people sufficiently for what they have done, and to the participants, supporters of the entire IIT Kharagpur Alumni Foundation and its executive committee, and for total support in all our work. I thank all the extended community that we have that is helping us to bring all these things to you. And as we go along, we will iron out all any negative issues. If anyone has any comments, you're welcome to give them to us. But it's an honest effort from this whole entire team of alumni and Kharagpur institution itself, and the faculty and all the supporters within the institution that we are depending on to bring all these things to you. With that, I close my vote of thanks and all the best to everybody.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. The program comes to an end, but informal discussions can continue. Shrikant Bandyopadhyay ji, now you can sing your song. Unmute yourself. Those who want to listen to you, they'll be there. I am there at least for some time. Unmute yourself. Shrikanta. Unmute. Unmute. Shrikant Bandyopadhyay ji, unmute. Shrikanta, unmute. No. Unmute. आपका आवाज सुनाई नहीं दे रहा. Shrikanta, we can't hear you.
It was unmuted.
Jaitley sir, should we continue YouTube transmission or should we stop?
एक मिनट. Yeah, Shrikanta, it's okay now. थोड़ी देर रहने दीजिए. शिव शंकर जी, थोड़ी देर रहने दो. Shrikanta, no. Unmute. No. Shrikant Daja is a professional singer. He's a professor also. Some of you may know him. And his ranking is quite good. His charts are very, known among the Bengali community, particularly in Australia. Shrikant, you have not unmuted yourself. He's finding, maybe he has not been able to listen to us. Okay, guys.
Moderator unmute him. Can the moderator
Shiv Shankar, can you unmute him?
Shiv Shankar, can you do it remotely?
Sir, I have already sent a request messages on that which she
No, but can you unmute him? Can you?
No, I think he has to do it himself.
He is, I think, 60 batch around के है, 60 batch के मेरे ख्याल से.
Oh,
1960 batch.
Unmute me.
He should be able to
UI issue is he can drop down, drag down, and the unmute option. There's a UI in WebEx.
Can you hear
You
me
just
now?
drag down, there's a bottom arrow, just click on it, and you will see the mute option, unmute option. Just go drop down.
he has joined through 3 accounts and one of the accounts is unmuted now.
Is it better now? Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
No, Shanda, we can't hear him. No.
Yes, you can hear Jaitley. I think.
Anybody else want to say anything? Shrikanta is not there.
You cannot hear me?
No, you can hear. You can hear. We can hear.
Okay. This is the IIT related things which I learned from there. But before doing that, I'll just send 2 to 4 lines Hindi गाना एक IIT के ऊपर. IIT Kharagpur कलकत्ता से कितना दूर, घर से चलो हावड़ा, वहीं से लोकल ट्रेन में 4 घंटा क्योरा, मिलेगा उधर रिक्शा, आप शायद होगा ऑटो, मेटल के बक्सा, तब पूछता था टैक्सी चाहिए जी, आज उधर होगा स्करब, बहुत बहुत टैक्सी, उठा जाकर मैं आरपी हॉल में, ई बाबा सीनियर लोग कितना गंदी बात बोल रहे हैं, मैं अभी अभी रामकृष्ण मिशन से आया और ऐसे अपवित्र बातों से मेरा सत्यानाश हो गया। IIT खड़गपुर, कलकत्ता से कितना दूर, घर से चलो हावड़ा, वहीं से लोकल ट्रेन में 4 घंटा क्योरा। I sing an English Christmas song composed by me, and in Sydney, St. Teresa Church, they have actually put it on their Facebook website. So,
thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
St. Teresa, you can sing with me.
Okay.
Oh, 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 the Christmas day is knocking on the door. There is music and joy in the air, over the land, down on the seas, and in the shore. Oh, 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 the Christmas day is knocking on the door. We wait for the days through the year, when Santa arrives with his reindeer. He comes on down the chimney and leaves his mark on the floor. Santa loves little girls and boys, for them with beautiful toys. Christmas is the time for fun, when the human race becomes one. We sing praise for the dear Lord, in seeking His love more and more. Oh, 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 the Christmas day is knocking on the door. There is music and joy in the air, over the land, down on the seas, and in the shore. Oh, 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 sing with me. The Christmas day is knocking on the door, knocking on the door, knocking on the door.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Everybody, just unmute yourself. Everybody, unmute yourself. Everybody, unmute. GP ka time up. Thank you very much. Happy New Year to you all. Enjoy. Everyone should be great for KGP for all.
I say BKT आगे बढ़ो.
Thank you.
तुम्हारे साथ है.
Thank you.
तो हम तुम्हारे साथ हैं.
At the biggest charmers, after them composes, what is then they are twisted with from? Oh, metals, ceramics, polymers.
Bye everyone. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Shiv Shankar, you can close anytime now.
You want to build a bridge?
Okay, happy New Year to everybody.
I would love it by train.
Happy New Year.
And we will have this annual feature now. Annual feature.
Yes.
Great.
Thank you.
And next time we'll have some balloon also. Happy New Year next year.
Namaskar and thank you to all of you.
Okay, guys. Thank you very much. Good night.
Namaskar.
Happy New Year. Namaskar.
Good night in advance.
Shiv Shankar, you can close.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.